Ever feel like you're running a marathon? You know, where your shoelaces are suddenly tied together and it's pouring rain and oh, you also forgot to actually, train for it,
Haha. Yeah, I think we've all been there.
right? That feeling. Well, that's kind of what we're tackling today. That's resilience.
Figuring out how to keep going when things get tough, for sure. It's essential, right?
Absolutely. And you know what's fascinating for this deep dive? We're going straight to the source. We're looking at a Reddit thread. Can you believe it? Someone just put it out there. How can I build resilience?
And it's not the experts chiming in either. It's everyday people sharing what actually works for them, their own like tried and true methods.
Right, it's like crowdsourced resilience. So buckle up, because we're diving deep into this thread to uncover some honestly practical advice. And who knows, maybe even a few unexpected gems of wisdom. Scrolling through all these comments, one thing really jumped out at me. So many people were talking about this idea of perspective, like how we look at things.
Huge.
Like
Yeah.
one commenter, Mindful Craig, put it this way. How do you know you're quitting? Maybe you're just taking a break,
Ooh, I like that.
right? It's subtle, but it makes you think.
It really does. Reframing the situation, Instead of failure, it's a pause, a chance to regroup and try a different approach. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's funny, Chamakan, another commenter, said almost the exact same thing. They were all about finding new strategies instead of getting stuck in those old ruts.
It's about adapting, right?
Um,
Resilience isn't about pushing blindly on. It's about learning and adjusting your path along the way. Take athletes, for instance. They're always analyzing their game, figuring out where they can do better, and then bam, they tweak their training to match. Or entrepreneurs. Constant iteration, pivoting, always finding new ways to reach those goals.
it's like that growth mindset everyone's always talking about.
Exactly.
And, speaking of action, a lot of the advice was stuff you could literally do right now. Like Lossell 8282 suggested actually writing down your goals and get this visualizing your future self.
There's something about putting pen to paper that makes those goals feel more real, more tangible. Now, that vision of your future self, that's your North Star guiding you through those rough patches.
And of course, we can't talk resilience without mentioning those small wins, the daily victories. Magnus Rexus was a big advocate for cold showers and daily meditation.
Those small actions, if you do them consistently, they build up. It's like that compound effect. Tiny things accumulating into something pretty remarkable over time.
So it's not just about the cold shower, right? It's about pushing past that discomfort, building mental toughness.
Exactly. It's training your mind, A&D body, to face challenges head on, proving to yourself you can handle the uncomfortable stuff. That spills over into every area of life.
That actually made me think of Rajizi's comment. They were describing the feeling of facing that initial fear of cold water. And wow, it was so vivid, like a metaphor for tackling ANY obstacle.
Absolutely. And this whole idea of, intentionally facing discomfort, even in small ways, that leads us perfectly into another big theme from the thread. Stoicism.
It's funny you should mention Stoicism because, yeah, it seemed like everyone in that thread was talking about it.
Well, it makes sense, right? It's having a real moment.
It really is.
And it's for good reason. Stoicism gives you this framework, for dealing with challenges, but in a way that feels, I don't know, clear and controlled.
Yeah, like you have a handle on things.
Exactly. And remember how we were talking about like reframing your perspective?
Right.
That's pure stoicism. Focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, and accepting the stuff you can't change.
So it's about accepting the things you can't change, but putting your energy into what you can, right?
Nailed it. And so many of the things these Redditors were suggesting, meditation, embracing those small challenges, that's stoicism in action. It's all about building that inner resilience.
It's like building up your defenses from the inside out.
Yes, exactly.
And, speaking of weathering those storms, we can't forget about self-compassion. That came up a lot, too.
Oh, it's essential, for sure. Building resilience doesn't mean you never struggle or you just ignore tough emotions. It's about learning to handle those rough spots, but with kindness, be nice to yourself.
Yeah, like cut yourself some slack.
Exactly.
It reminded me of something Can Handler 2000 wrote. It's okay that you're scared. So simple, but man, it hit home.
Totally. We're all human, right?
Right.
We all feel fear, doubt, the whole shebang. And that's more than okay.
It's about realizing that those setbacks are just part of the journey. They don't define you.
They really don't. In fact, they often make you even stronger, even more resilient.
This has been amazing.
It
I
has.
feel like we've covered so much, from those little mindset shifts to like the power of small actions. even dipped our toes into ancient philosophy.
Right. And you know the best part? It's not about some massive life overhaul. Just pick one thing that clicked with you. Maybe it's 5 minutes of meditation or writing down your goals. Heck, even trying a cold shower. See what
Well,
happens.
just experiment a little. What have you got to lose?
Exactly. Building resilience, it's a journey. It's not a race. And trust me, every step you take, even the small ones, they
You
matter.
really do. You heard it here.